Hey, today we'll be looking at model-driven apps in the Dynamics 365 CRM. It's a very good topic for us to look at, and if you want to, for those that want to explore CRM world to become support uh, guys, to become application specialists, become system specialists, or functional consultants, even architects, developers for this is a very good starting point for you to look at and get some apps. So what we'll be looking at today would be Dynamics 365 CRM model-driven apps. So the main creating a model-driven app, the first thing you would want to do is to have your solutions where you would have your app. So if you see my screen, the first thing I want to do is to create um, a solution where this will be. I could call the solution my test solution, or we could just call it my solution. And I can set that publisher to myself and just get my solution on the way. It's a very good model driven app is a very friendly, easy to use way, you know, building applications, categorizing our tables, um, and you'll be able to segment different departments and teams to use different applications for wherever you want, depending on how your business operates. So as you can see, I have my solution here. The first thing that I want to do to build a model-driven app, have an entity in there. I can create a new, just create an app because this is a model-driven app. We could give the model-driven app a name, because call this patients application. Okay, so we want to build this from scratch. So we've got our model-driven app. First thing we want to do is to create a table. We want to create a data vast table, create a new table. So we can create from blank. Let's just create from blank. Give our table a name, call this patient. Then we could give this, rename this column. So this is the table, and these are the columns. I can call this patient name. And let's call this for first name. We can call it first name, single line of text, and it's required. We can add more columns. We can call this the last name. So we can add more details like we need the date of birth, date of birth. We want that to be a date field, and we want it to be a date only field. So that's good. We can call city. We can add something like a city here, the test field. We can add something like a country. This is just to capture the country of the patient. What other thing do we need? Um, allergies. We can call that a Boolean field, choice, yes or no choice field. Could save that. What else do we want to capture on the days for the patient? Heights, just put in something like that. Heights can be in, yeah, put it in number. We can just take it as a test case to be fair. Okay. So just add another field to say comment. Um, this can be multi-line of text field. Just put that there. So something as simple as this, just to start, and we can save and edit and exit this. So we are creating a table. Well, basically, what we are doing here is that we are creating a table inside our model-driven app. So the model-driven app gives you a very good look and feel. Later on in the future, we'll look at different type of apps like Canvas apps and how they all look. So at the moment, we will be looking at, we're just looking at this. Stay creating. This could take a bit of time, but let's just wait in the next 1 to 2 minutes and see what happens here before, yeah, probably move this faster. All right, so we've got our model coming up here. So you can see this is added to the navigation section. You can see the patient's information, the forms of use. So it's just taking some time to sync and initialize, basically. So what the model-driven app gives to you is an ability to categorize uh, the tables that you have in your app that you want to see in your app. So we could also put some restrictions later on when we look at security, where some users you could restrict what tables you want those users to have access to, and things like that, even forms as well. We could also restrict those. But the model-driven apps gives you ability to do a lot, where you can create business process flows, where you could come in uh, basically the processes that your business users would follow. So it gives them like a structured, organized, guided process that they can go through to to prevent errors, makes their process more optimized, and yeah, make it easier for them to use the application. So it's pretty much cool and good to use the business process flow. It's taking a bit of time. Let's just see what happens. Why that is being created, I'll just go to my list of applications here to see what I have. So you can see here right away, we have the patient's application. And if I open that, um, it's going to be, okay, so it's still being created. So it's still loading, it's taking a bit of time. And still refresh here quickly. See, yeah, still taking a bit of time to get that sorted. So, because this see, you are still with me. So this is our app. The model-driven app is prepared, it's ready. You can see the patient app is there, the table, the forms of use. And if you look at the app itself, you can see the patient's app is available, and you can see your table here. And yeah, we can create our first record against that patient's table. So patients, I could use that as patient's first name concordant for want the last name to be yeah, such. The date of birth could be yeah, could just put that there. The city, Manchester. Oh, yeah. UK, that's fine. Allergies, heights, can put it 177. Comments, yeah. This patient is coming in a couple of days. That's fine. Once you have done that, just save the record. So this is the patient's record. So you can see we have our first patient record in there. Uh, yeah. So we can go further to make some changes. For example, we could look at just to could look into the data structure. Uh, just to see more what the piece to. So another good way we can come into solutions. So we can see that solution. Our table should be in our solution. You can see here it's just loading. Um, So we have the site map, we have the model-driven app, and we have the table. So we could just go into the columns, for example, to see our columns. One column that I would like to take a look at is the date of birth column. Okay, this is the time zone independent. Okay, anyways, we will get to those later in the future. So we could probably want to modify the forms. Also, we have the, because currently we can see the ownership is showing here and things like that. You could modify the form, just make it look good. We can bring this over here to the header, just to take that away. We could add more uh, tabs in here. For example, we can make it two sections, basically. Let's see how we can do it. We could take this out. So let's take this out. I'm just trying to play with the form just to see how it looks for us. Um, could do it that way. Uh, could just make we could take this out. Let's see if we can. Hmm, okay, let's go. Uh, yeah, let's just play with this just to see what uh what's wrong back here. So yeah, it's a way to play with this form. This gives us a nice look and feel, you know. This section, we can give this section a name just to make this look good. For the moment, it's saving, so you can just save that again. Yes, it captures the section properly. So this is one way to do this. There are several ways you can modify and customize your form. And if we go back here and do a refresh, you could see immediately the changes that we have made. So you can see this is how the form now appears. Then we can call this Sandra, call this hill, can call it city, Lagos, uh, Nigeria, we can call this, yeah, date of birth, you can just put some whatever you want. Yeah, that's fine. So you can just save the form, save and close, so you have the record. So this is a model-driven app, how you can create a patient's application and then use that to categorize or store your patient's information, book appointments and things like that. So this is what it is, to be fair. So stay tuned.